If you're looking for something new and exciting, why not try this Jin-Gitaxias Progress Tyrant build, where we're using every single X spell that you can possibly use in Mono Blue. Check out the deck tech at the end of the video for the breakdown, but until then, enjoy the gameplay. We go first with a fairly decent hand here. The ramp is going to be great to get Jin-Gitaxias out. They're using an Ambergris deck. Okay, there could be shenanigans ahead here, so we have to be cautious. It is only mono red, but they could have a few ways to stop us by destroying our rock. So we'll see. If they have something like a smelt, they might be able to slow us down. Stolen by the Fae is interesting. We can bounce something to the hand and create that many fairies. Solemn Simulacrum. Now that is really good. We're going to get the Jin-Gitaxias out very quickly here. And this is just the power of regular ramp. Nothing too special, fantastic. But every little counts. 3, 4, 5. Only 2 mana off the Jin-Gitaxias here. Haste. Okay, and it is a Dragon's Approach build. Interesting. So whenever they cast one of these now, they can search their deck for a dragon, put it into play. That is pretty powerful. So what we're going to do, I think we're going to leave up Blink of an Eye to bounce the dragon to their hand, and then I think we just probably win the game from there. So 3 damage to each opponent. You can exile 4 cards named Dragon's Approach from the graveyard, and you put a dragon into play. So it's a pretty creative deck. Let's see what dragon they go for here. Rakaseth, so we will be bouncing that, sadly. And they probably lose the game from here because they can't actually cast it. Does feel a bit mean, I have to say. But there we go. Let's go for Jin-Gitaxias. And yeah, absolutely brutal because we can get 2 extra turns after this. So Jin counters that. And the Time Warp would just win us the game. Oh, that's just so insanely strong. Okay, we got a couple of removal spells, so I think we're going to keep this. Joyra is a Paradox Engine combo build. I hate how I see a commander, you just basically know what you're going to face. That's just the way it is. And it's weird because there's never variation. It's incredibly rare. There seems to be only one way people build certain decks, and it's really sad, you know. There's never a Joyra build where it's like, I don't know, just creatures, for instance. There's always Paradox Engine. Mirage Mirror, okay. I think we're just good to pass there. There's nothing that good for them to copy yet. This gets scary when there's humongous creatures, like if they copied our Jin-Gitaxias until end turn, that would be very bad. Astral Cornucopia for 1. Okay. Let's try using Blink of an Eye here. Use it on the Mirage Mirror. They only have 2 mana open. They could counter this, no? Okay. So this gives them blue. And yeah, we're still going strong. 4, 5, 6. If they go for Joy in the following turn, we can try and steal it with a Mass Manipulation. 3, 4, 5. We could use the word Invention for something. Gilded Lotus. Oof. So they've got 4 mana open. Do they want to counter this? Okay, go for Cold Steel Heart. Interesting. So they could just counter Jin here. No? Okay, so this is pretty damn good because we can counter the first artifact as well. Or instant or sorcery. So the Mirage Mirror will just get fizzled now. Crucible of Worlds, so that goes away. Now, annoyingly, they can go for Mirage Mirror and then copy Jin. But because of the way Jin works, if we cast a spell and then they transform it into Jin, it'd be too late because we've already cast a spell at that point. I feel like they want to go for the Mirage Mirror. The Might Stone and Weak Stone. So that's just going to kill the Jin. That's a shame. But at least it's out of their hand. And then now they go for the Mirage Mirror. Okay. Pass it back to them. They've got so much utility here. Creature lands. Here she is. And what else are they going to do? They're going to turn that online. Convoke. We don't have any convoke. We could bounce it back to their hand. It doesn't have an effect. I'm really not that bothered. Down to 24. Sure. So let's go for QQ here. So we have 8 mana. So let's try and draw 4. Again, if they counter this, we know that they have nothing left. Nice. Okay. The Consuming Tide here is going to be not very good because they can just redeploy everything and draw cards again, which is not what we want to see. So let's try and gain control of Joyra. Gain control of X creatures. And we still have 3 mana up for the Perilous Voyage and the Stern Dismissal. So if they become a copy of Joyra in their turn with Mirror, we can just bounce it back to their hand and make them redeploy it. Okay. So they're going to Legend Rule it. But this means nobody has Joyras now. Okay. We basically spent 6 mana to kill the Joyra, which is fair enough. And they're going to make the Crawling Barrens a bit bigger. Man, they have so many colourless lands. I don't know if that's the way forward with the Joyra deck. But there you go. I mean, they're doing perfectly fine, although we do have a lot more cards in hand. Do we want to return anything? Probably not. Okay. So we can just go for the Jin, and then in their turn maybe bounce a couple of things. They're going to get back the Crucible, but there's no lands in the graveyard yet. Of course, they can go for the Blast Zone. We shall see. Let's quickly put a stop because they're going to draw a card from the Crucible. I feel like that's the main point here. They're going to have that become a copy of Jin, and then they're going to get 2 Crucibles, maybe? So we'll bounce the Joyra in response. Yeah, the Mirage Mirror here is actually probably the most annoying thing they have. What I most want to do is in our turn resolve the Khan's Temporal Sundering because we want to be able to get 2 extra turns. And as I said, even if they do make a Jin in our turn, it will be too late for the Temporal Sundering to be countered. Okay, so they're going to go for Joyra. And then... So they're going to get 1 Crucible, ultimately, because we counter 1 and then they copy it. So it's funny, when we both have a Jin-Gitaxias, it's almost like nobody has Jin-Gitaxias, if you know what I mean. Sure, but again, it doesn't bother me too much because they've got no lands in the graveyard. Oh, no, they do have a buried... Okay, so buried ruin they do have, actually. Sorry. Yeah, that's a looping thing they can do, isn't it? Okay, sure. Yeah, this Consuming Tide is not looking very good with their ETBs and Joyra deck. Yeah, okay. Buried Ruin is annoying. If we bounce... Yeah, they've got a frigging loop, haven't they? The Buried Ruin loop. Jin-Gitaxias again. How much mana do we have if we play this? We'll have 4, 5, 6. Or, okay. 2 Jin-Gitaxiases. So maybe it was a mistake to... I don't know. So they can't... If they go for Mirage Mirror against Jin now... Okay, that's interesting. So now we can actually definitely resolve one of these. Target player takes an extra turn. And return that. Okay, so because this is 2 sentences... So we're definitely going to get 1 copy of Khan's Temporal. And then we're going to get an extra turn. And then we can bounce the... I don't know. Mirage Mirror. Wowzers. Okay. And we could draw a card with the Jin as well. I think we're just going to win here because we've got double Discover the Formula. That's crazy. Double Discover the Formula with 2 extra turns in a row. Okay. So let's definitely start with this. Don't forget, we also draw a card with the other Jin as well, which means that card's going to be cheapened by the Discover the Formula. Holy crap. Yeah, this is absolutely absurd. They're probably just going to quit now because we're going to get an extra turn after this. Not copied, but... Oh, that feels fantastic to beat a Paradox Engine player. Lovely. Okay, let's give this a go. Arcane Signet pulling a lot of weight here. Tamiyo could be problematic because we don't counter it. And it can tap down the Jin-Gitaxias, but we'll see how it goes. Bant has a lot of control magic as well. Arcane Signet, so 1, 2, 3, 4 mana next turn. Could go for the Ingenious Mastery to draw 3. But then they get to scry 2 and they create 2 treasures, so that's probably a very, very bad idea. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're just gonna hold off here. There's no need to get crazy with this. If we were absolutely desperate and to draw 3, then this might be it. But yeah, giving them 2 treasures is just such a bad idea. Guild Pact Informant. Yeah, let's bounce that back. We do not want them to proliferate, and we need to hit lands. And we did. Okay. Yeah, we'll pass. So they can go for the Tamiyo here, but if they do, we do have the Brazen Borrower, so we can apply pressure in the air and even bounce something. The thing is, we might not want to bounce this back, but we'll see what they do. Guild Pact Informant. They really want to get that out, don't they? Sure. So we'll deploy our threat. It's pretty good. Brawl. Conjure a duplicate of each of X non-token put to your hand. If X is 5 or more, you put them on the... Yeah, I don't really know if I want to do that. I think we'll go for Brawl. And just... Take it easy. For a bit. So Tamiyo could uptick, targeting both the Brazen Borrower and the Brawl. It's a lot of bees. But then, if they do that and we deal damage, they get to draw cards. They're going to go for Midnight Clock instead. Okay. Hall of Storm Giants. Let's swing in. So what do we want to do? They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to go for x equals 4. Oh no, x equals 3, I guess. That's fine. So we draw 3. And we also get midnight clock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to have Snowball and Simulacra can target 5 things in the next turn. Could be decent. Conjure 5 things, and then we get to cast them if we want to.
Make an excellent informant for my study.
They're going to go for... Whenever they deal damage, draw a card. Okay. Discover the formula. So what should we really do here? I'm not entirely sure. I guess we could just go for midnight clock first. Swing in over the top with the brazen borrower. They get to draw a card. You know what? I'm just going to do this here before they get a chance to... Okay, fantastic. So most of our instants and sorceries cost 2 less now because the discover the formula puts a kind of like an emblem effect on these cards, which is kind of good. They do, however, have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana, which is terrifying. But yeah, we basically took that turn off to set up the following turn. A time warp for 3 mana is kind of crazy as well. Fairy, so they're going to get... They combine that with the rock and a land, that's plus 2 mana. And a Gideon, oh my god, so yeah, they're definitely a Super Friends build. But we do have the Mass Manip, so they're not going to be very happy if we steal other things, are they? If they tap out, I think we are going to be in an insanely good position. This Quicksilver service is crazy as well. Costs a spell from on the cards you put into your hand this turn. Proliferate. I mean, if you've drawn multiple cards, so if they had our discover the formula there, oh, that would have been pretty bad for us. I really want them to tap out, and they do. Sort of. They've got 1 green / white. Okay. Right, and what else are they going to do here? They're going to attack. Going to give it vigilance and swing for 3. No, okay. So do we have... How much mana do we have here? We've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can't do Jin plus... I'm just going to go for Time Warp first. So this is oddly going to be the bait spell, believe it or not. Because we get an extra turn after this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you could go for Brawl's expertise into... I don't know. We're going to steal that stuff though, aren't we? Extra turn. So maybe we just go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Kick this. This is pretty crazy. Return up to 2 creatures. How much mana do we have left after that? Okay, so we didn't have enough. Which means actually it counters the entire spell. Oh my goodness, that was a stupid move. So whenever a permanent ward comes up with a spell, counter it unless... Wow, ward is crazy. Okay. So ward is a lot more powerful than I remembered. So if it counters any part of the spell. It counters the entire spell, even though there are multiple effects. Okay, let's QQ. How much mana do we have? 9. 4. 1, 2, 3. Let's not make the same mistake again. 1, 2, 3. I think that's pretty powerful, as is, to be honest. And yeah, even through a horrendous learning mistake there of the ward being countered, stealing all their walkers apparently is a good little way to make up for that. So you've stumbled upon the deck tech for the X Spell Tribal build. This video goes out to Jonoroth and your son, who is, the screen name is CoolmanJH. So this is for you. I was told that he wanted a Jin-Gitaxias build, so I thought, why not make something weird and a bit special and different for you? So thank you very much, Jonoroth, for your continued support for the channel. And this is for you and your son. So this deck looked to use all the X spells, as you can see. There's actually quite a lot of them, and a lot of them work pretty well with Jin-Gitaxias, because if you're looking to double something, why don't you double something that can scale with time? And every single one of these spells, pretty much, you can copy with Jin. So as long as Jin's out and you go for mass manipulation, you can steal multiple creatures for even less. And there's a lot of these that draw cards. You've got Even the Score, which draws lots of cards. Gadwick, which doesn't work with Jin-Gitaxias, but it is on theme. Transcendent Message draws X as well, which is just so powerful. Blue Sun's Twilight Steal something. You get the theme. You got a couple of ways to reduce the amount of mana things cost with Brawl, Chief of Compliance, which is interesting. And you've also got Haughty Jin as well, which reduces instant sorceries by 1. So these are going to prove very useful. The latest enchantments brought to us with the Mystical Archives sort of thing. Rhystic Study, absolute must-have in any blue X shell, which is just going to draw so many cards. How absurd this is. And Spreading Seas, which is really good against multicolour decks. Do not underestimate this card. It's a bit like Blood Moon if you use it tactically, and if you put it on an opponent's land that needs to tap for anything else, this is going to screw over their plans. So yeah, apart from the X spell tribal deck, it's a fairly standard Jin-Gitaxias build. Not that many counter spells, but you do have the occasional, like classic counter spell and Nonsense Reversal just to stop your opponents doing their thing. And of course you have the evil cards like Time Warp and River's Rebuke to go crazy. If you get Time Warp doubled out with Jin-Gitaxias, you probably win the game. You want to support the strategy with quite a bit of ramp. So we have 4 of these rocks here. You've got a Worn Power Stone. We have a Midnight Clock. Key to the Archive taps for 2. And then Solemn gives us an extra 1 as well. Oh, and don't forget Mind Spice out practice reduces the cost of our spells by 1 for each oil counter on it. So this is going to be good, especially if you copy it with Jin-Gitaxias. It's going to reduce it by 2, then 4, then so on and so forth. Deck list will be in the description below. If you would like to support the channel, don't forget to check out my Ko-fi donations page in the description box below, or you could become a patron and support me monthly. The details are also below. So I hope you enjoyed this video, Jonoroth, and your son, CoolmanJH. Did you know that you can help my channel by watching another one of my videos? Go ahead, you know you want to.